if he had early Aspire, maybe, a great Aspire that being, that he'd have actually had the Broodlords out earlier, and then they just popped out, and two of them popped out under the Marines and got gutted immediately. So, I don't know. It's all to play for in this last game because this is match point here for Polt, and Stephano is fighting from a fairly weak position, being 2 games down. So, ladies and gentlemen, for potentially the final time tonight, I bring you TSL's Polt. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Terran to the east of the Core Hull compound versus his opponent, Millennium Stephano, in the red trunks, playing Zerg to the west.
And we're just about to go past the 13-hour mark of casting today, Total Biscuit.
Standard.
He's like, normal. I'm like, no. Is that it? No?
Pretty much. Standard. I'm not going to give you sympathy. Good God. I'm in the same position as you are.
I know. I was looking for sympathy from you guys.
Oh, from the audience,
no,
yeah.
No. Oh, I was looking for that applause.
You are such an attention whore.
The thing is, like, I didn't get it, and I had to ask for it, which kind of made me look
that makes you look pretty pathetic, honestly. I'll just play the world's smallest violin for you.
Stephano did it too, though, earlier. He was like,
that's no excuse.
Continue. He was lapping that in there.
God, it was like his little brother, and it's like, but he did it first. No, that doesn't work.
All right, so once again, we do have Polt opening up with the same build as he has done every single game, and that's been the story of Polt's tournament, is that he doesn't really change it up that much. There's a little bit of variety with maybe an early expansion or not, but usually revolves around the same strategy, and it all comes down to positional play, unit control, and that's how he's been able to beat Stephano. And Stephano previously in that game did change his style to muteless, which was effective. And I think the reason for that change was that we saw Polt just adapting too well to Stephano's style of, you know, very heavy ling. He was using the higher and lower grounds, tanks on the low ground, Marines on the higher ground, picking up Marines consistently when he was losing the fight, and all these small little techniques just made every single fight for Stephano so low in cost efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency is how I would describe Polt. Since we saw his very first game here, and we made this comment against Zerg, look at how efficient his engagements are. Look at where he fights. Look at where he chooses to take a fight. Always about how many Marines can I save, or even if I'm going to lose my Marines, I am going to make you hurt for that. Oh, and Polt gets out of there very, very, very close to dying, but he can start building again, and he just wants to bait out as much wasted mining time as possible. There's the cancellation. He's happy with that. He goes back to base, having wasted Stephano's time.
Indeed. Is Stephano going to try anything funky this game? I do believe on this map that he can go back to his same style as previously, going for double evolution chambers, going for a lot of lings, and I think that's what we're going to see here for Stephano. We could see Mulus again, but on this map they're not as strong because there's no actually areas to hide inside the main base of Polt, because the back of his base is actually screen tight, as I like to call it, as you can't kind of move to the right or the north of it actually. And we do see the command center going down here. We do have the Hellions coming out once again. Stephano out of gas and does just grab the speed immediately as well as that spine call, so I really don't believe that he will be doing any form of aggression.
No, I don't think so. They're going to play standard straight up and may go for that earlier style, just revert back to it. It is concerning, though. This is a fairly tank-friendly map, as we've said many times before. The ability to siege up on the third base of your Zerg opponent is very dangerous. Combine that with Polt's good sense when it comes to the positions of his tanks and the arrangement of his formation. That could prove to be absolutely lethal.
And we do have Stim on its way. And sometimes I do prefer that the switch up with a factory for earlier tanks, but Stim is also fine. Again, the tanks earlier is just a lot safer, but looking at Stephano, now going for a third queen, really early, still not in gas at all. And I wonder if he's just trying to snipe the Hellions and pick all of them off and then look for a faster third base. Or if he does want to try and go into double evolution chamber, then he's going to need to go into a second gas immediately. Otherwise, he won't have the gas necessary. And there are the lings in production now. He will be trying to get us around on these Hellions who have prevented, no creep spread whatsoever.
Yeah, it hasn't happened as of yet, but there is a. Do we have? Yeah, we've got 3 queens, so it is kind of annoying. He's going to pick up now with the Spinecrawler, bring 2 Queens out, and then will most likely try and flank with the Lings, assuming that the Hellions try and get a little bit closer. You know what's really bad against Spinecrawlers, Hellions? He does bring in 6, however, gets a couple of Lings here and there, and Stephano can actually spread just a little bit of creep here.
And Stephano taking 3 gases and a 4th now, so it looks like he's actually just going to go layer again. 1 evolution chamber, and there comes the 2nd one. So it will be going for 2 base, try to take a 3rd soon if he can get a decent surround on the Hellions, but I'm saying that as if he needs to get a surround on the Hellions, otherwise Polt's just going to sit there and deny Lings, it's going to deny the drone from going down to the 3rd base, and overall deny the economy of Stephano rising up. And in the background, Polt is going for his, double reactor, a lot of Marines, medivacs straight away, and will actually move down shortly to start to pressure this immediate tech from Stephano.
Indeed. The single Ling slips past and gets quite a little bit of information, just able to scout around here. The Hellions just sitting on the edge of the creep in tantalizing, well, that's a really hard word, tantalizing distance. Shouldn't have tried to repeat it. Unfortunately, Stephano can't quite get in there just yet. He's going to push forward 2 Spinecrawlers once again to force Polt to either go or to leave. It's as simple as that. He has to go into the mineral line, potentially lose all his Hellions, or just back the hell off.
And he does back off, and the creep sped will be able to extend a little better than it is. 11 more drones in production, which throws Stephano kind of over 2 base saturation here. And he needs to start thinking about that 3rd base, but at the same time, here comes that double medivac push. Combat shields near completion as well. And there's no tech yet, as the layer's obviously about to finish, and now it does finish. I suppose we will see the infestation pit thrown down immediately, but this Marine push, even though it's small, could do a lot of damage. Banelings here, without speed, can easily control his Marines against them here.
Yeah, with the Hellion support, that'll work very well. Polt was waiting for the flank to come in, and that is very nice there by Polt. Detonates 1 Baneling, there's only 3 available there. Kills the Spinecrawler, kills an awful lot of Zerglings as well. A mass Baneling Morphin coming in. Once again, Polt's pressure is fantastic. Another Queen taken out. Spinecrawler transfused there, but it's going to die anyway. All that did was delay the inevitable. Polt's pressure is brilliant, and regardless of that, Stephano still actually has managed to get out 60 drones.
And he's about to lose everything here if he doesn't pick up the remaining Marines.
Whoa!
Does he manage to get them? And
that was uncharacteristically sloppy there from Polt, actually. He did lose a lot of Hellions and Marines unnecessarily. It kind of muted applause. Feel like, should that have happened?
And 3rd base taken on the left-hand side this time for Stephano, pushing his creep. Because of the Hellions denying creep outside the natural, he's extending creep from the main and just going to push up that side. But unfortunately, Polt is going to walk into this and sees it. And Stephano down at 2 bases, and we're actually experiencing a very familiar example to exactly how we saw Polt play against Lucky and preventing Lucky from taking 3rd bases.
Hello, he wants to keep that alive, but the cancel goes in anyway, and just realize, you know what, I'm fighting against Polt is in those infuriating positions all the time, every time I get anywhere near him. And Stephano's not making the same mistakes as previously and sacrificing an awful lot of Lings and just throwing that economic advantage away.
And the momentum is really showing for Polt now, being 3-1 within this series, 1 game away. He's got so much room for error, yet he's still not making any. And we see the 3rd command center about to finish now. The Marines are starting to get upgraded just by a single engineering bay. He doesn't have that strong of an economy compared to the previous one where he had this such early 3rd command center. But still, this push coming, it's very, very Marine heavy and tank little. If Stephano has 5 infestors, he can easily change the game around if he lands the fungal growth correctly onto the clumped up Marines. And Polt hasn't seen anything, but he will know that infestors are coming, just doesn't know where from.
Exactly. We saw Lucky take this base over here, actually. This seems to be a thing for Zerg, but it does get denied, and that's kind of why I suppose Polt just went there immediately, because he's already experienced that on this map before. Now, the strength of Polt, one of many, is splitting against Banelings. Admittedly, he's going up against Speed Banes, and he's going up against Infestors as well. That makes that very, very difficult. Stephano is going to crushing victory here.
I was a little bit worried there as he wasn't siege, but he does siege up now. Stephano is about to hit 2-2 Total Biscuit, and as he hits that, he's going to crush everything.
He's going in a little bit early. I'm not actually sure why he's doing that. 2-2 hasn't kicked in yet. He's doing a lot of damage regardless. Maybe he could have done a lot more if he just hadn't jumped the gun there, but the Baneling detonation is great, and that's the cleanup.
Yeah, that's what Stephano needed here, and those infestors are proving crucial here, and Polt's army supply dropped really low in that third place. Planetary Fortress, if Stephano launches down there, he's making Banelings in. I have a feeling that we're going to see a bust here from Stephano.
He's got to hit that right now before the Planetary Fortress gets up, though. Otherwise, that's going to get messy.
And he does go down, and before it does turn to a Planetary Fortress, and Polt has to run everything down. He cannot afford to lose his third base like he's been denying Stephano from all game.
Yeah, I don't think, engaging here it's very inefficient. That is going to finish, and Polt would have delayed the attack on it even. So, is he just going to bust it entirely?
Yeah, he's going to blow it, man. He's going to blow it up. He's going to blow the bloody doors off.
Yes, indeed he is. Well, let's see what else he manages to blow up. Here he goes. Let's see. Planetary Fortress target fire. That's not going to happen. Oh, there's the detonation. The Planetary Fortress goes down, and the fungal catches the SCVs as well. What the hell's efficiency? Who cares when you can do that kind of damage? If we look at resources lost, though, it does tell a fairly ugly tale. Now,
and it does open up a really big counterattack option. There's a lot of gas spent in destroying that in terms of Banelings.
Definitely.
So, and even if there weren't Banelings to be morphed, and even if he does morph the Banelings, I'm sorry, try to say, if he does morph the Banelings, that's gas taken away from higher tech, such as upgrades. So, an investment, but will it pay off here?
Well, more Banelings are available, but Polt is setting up a trifecta of tanks over there, and that's going to be quite dangerous. Doesn't want to get anywhere near that. He's also trying to protect this base down to the bottom. Wants to take that fourth. Polt is now mining from 2 bases. His main is almost mined out as well. His SCV count isn't really oversaturated. That's mostly because Stephano ate all of it. But he's now going for the Ultralisk Cavern and Adrenal Glands, going right back into his classic style.
And we do have another move by Stephano towards that third base. He's going to see that there's no command center there again, and this is pushing Polt into not expanding. He has to do damage. He doesn't know about the Ultralisk Cavern finishing, but if he can do enough damage, there's 900 gas been banked up here. There's no way he can take a third base. It feels like Polt, in combination with all these upgrades finishing, is trying to end Stephano now. The tank line is very deep here, and Ultralisk are coming out now. Doesn't even have enough minerals to build more than 3, even though he has the gas.
And that's a little bit stressful. That fourth base would have been a godsend right there, but this is a real problem. It's positional tank play all over again from Polt, and it's the third base, the worst possible base to take an engagement on if you happen to be Zerg because of that high ground. Look at where he's positioning that. That's going to be extremely difficult to take down, but here comes the defense. He must decisively defend this base.
And if he doesn't defend this base, he still could crush the army of Polt and win that way. But if Polt doesn't let that happen, then Polt's going to clean up the entire of the tournament and take first place. So this is a very stressful position for... Oh my god, I just had Battle.net connection lost on my screen.
Oh, that is a...
Waiting for server.
That's all next.
And as I was about to say, this is a very tense moment for Stephano.
It's even more tense now. Good God, he's happy about that.
Waiting for server. It looks like Battle.net's kicked me off, man. And guess what everybody's saying on the forums right now?
The technology just isn't there yet.
Same thing Stephano had just an hour ago.
Sadly. Oh well, in about 20 seconds time, you're going to be observing from this screen.
The PC is brilliant though. The PC is actually running very smoothly. It's an Asus PC.
I like that, yeah.
It's not a PC
It's absolutely
problem.
fantastic, not breaking it all. To be fair, it is, yeah, it's not crashed, it's just, it's a Battle.net disconnection.
It's not crashed, and if you don't believe me, I'll show you.
Yeah.
The PC is fine.
Yeah. You are the weakest link.
I
Goodbye.
wonder if Asus is going to give me a PC of my own now.
You are a consumer whore. Anyway, has dropped from the game, which means the IQ level of this cast is down by approximately 80%. However, He can observe from here and read Team Liquid if he likes as well. I think you don't need to. You know exactly what's going on.
Analysis from the forums.
Don't do that. They'll pick you up on it. I've done that before, and they caught me.
No, I was actually going to broadcast the analysis from the forums.
Oh, don't do that. That would lower the IQ level by 90%. It's a terrible idea. It's a live report thread. I love you, Team Liquid, but really, that is terrible. Whatever the case, Stephano has a massive, massive army, and, well, Polt's just chilling. And I don't
he's on siege. He's actually on siege.
This is a bad idea.
Oh, this is so big for Stephano.
No! Here it comes. Here comes Death Incarnate, storming down from the north. The grim darkness of the far north. There is only Zerg. And Polt taking loads of damage here. The Ultralists charging their way through. More tanks deployed at the bottom. And this is the thing. I think that Stephano can easily reinforce. Oh no, you're not getting out of there, I don't think. Another tank shells, and he's just going to go down and pick off every single tank as he goes. And Polt just made a big error. Stephano punishes it.
And that's what Stephano needed to keep his tournament alive. And there's no third base, man. There's no third base. I want to hit the I button on my keyboard, but the income tab's going to show us a very low income for Polt now, stuck at 130 supply. It's not looking good. What's Polt's army looking like? It's moving out towards the third base over there.
It's got 38 Marines. It's got 6 tanks and 7 Marauders. It's no slouch, certainly. Admittedly, this base has now been established for Stephano, and he can take this bottom base once again. Now, Polt realizes he must take a third. There's no way he can do it. I mean, look at that. There's barely any minerals remaining. He's massively oversaturated. Stephano is in a great position. But he's been in great positions before. He doesn't want to overcommit. He doesn't want to get overconfident.
Yeah.
He's up against Polt. Polt is possibly one of the most dangerous opponents he's ever faced.
He actually will play this Thorzane style now. I mean, I don't really see him going for a win with a risk on it.
Yeah.
He's just going to sit back and kind of chill out. He's building 12 drones, you know, he's building gas, he's making sure he's expanding all over the place and just spooning it up.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Stephano is spooning Polt.
Oh, dear God, the fanfics. All right, Stephano's got a flank right now and just try and crush it. And as we said that, oh, you know, he's going to play it like Thorzane. No, actually, he's going to go and try and kill him. He avoids most of the tank line here and runs over the natural. Well, with all the supply depots he can kill there, certainly. The Ultralisk goes down. Oh, a nice Baneling detonation there. Polt's bleeding badly. He falls below 100 supply for one of the first times in this game. Unfortunately, the Ultralisk getting trapped. Good positional play again from Polt, just using the tanks mobile this time around. That's not going to do anything.
And
shut down.
The army is cleared up here, and Stephano taking a risk, killing that, but at the same time, killed so many SCVs on that natural.
There you go.
And I guess it doesn't matter that much because he can't have too many bases anyway, so he only has and can have X amount of SCVs working on a base. At 25 is one base saturation. He's fine at that north base. But Stephano, the scary thing is the minimap, and that's all I can see is the minimap. Look at that creep.
It's insane. He is over halfway across, actually 2/3 of the way across the map. Polt realizes he must kill a base, and this is what it comes down to. Stephano could still lose it if he's unable to crush this army decisively. Alternatively, he could avoid it entirely, realizing he has 2 spare bases and go right for the main.
Yeah, he's pulled his drones from that base, will send them to another one, and cutting off all the reinforcements, cutting off the units left, and a nice decisive move here from Stephano.
Yeah, that's very nice indeed. Not charging directly at the main army, avoiding it, and a good fungal there as well. It doesn't quite kill the Marauder. It will eventually die when it feels like it, and that Baneling gets out of there as well. Polt's bringing his army back, though. He wants to try and crush his army for Stephano. The supply count for Stephano is very, very low. His army is not that large.
What is his army supply?
His army supply looks something like that.
All right, so it is incredibly weak, and that was the gamble he took going in there, and he could have spooned it out, he could have sat back and just built his economy and then cleaned up after that. And just leave Polt mining from that base, and then stop him from taking another one. But that risk, it looks like it may still be okay for Stephano. 4 Ultras are coming, but
I don't know about that. Look at the size of that army.
The upgrades 3-3 for the Marine and Marauders, 2-0. Ling's getting fried on the Planetary Fortress, and
oh God, that's a lot of drones he's about to lose. He has no borrow. There's no way to escape this. He may be able to get just a few back. The tanks are now deploying, and has Stephano thrown this away by getting overly aggressive?
Well, we'll find out the answer when Stephano has to take a fight here. Unlike he could counterattack, But the thing is, if he counterattacks, he will lose his entire economy in this game, so he has to take a fight. Will we see Stephano in almost a deja vu moment here again, just with a little less units, but will he be able to crush it here? And he can't lose that base Total Biscuit.
He's going to. It's going to go down. Wow, Stephano is kind of panicking here, he seems. He doesn't know what to do. Is he actually just going to go for the straight-up trade?
I mean, he can't take a counterattack, I don't feel. He has to take, maybe catch the army unsieged again, like he did previously. He is expanding, and we see Infested Terrans killing off, well, not really killing off, but moving the SCVs from mining. Stephano has established a base on the left-hand side once again, but it's 130 supply versus 120, and it's so incredibly close.
It really, really is.
42 Marines, three upgrades.
Yeah, and Ultras do chew through them quite rapidly, and he does have some Banelings in the mix, but not a huge amount. It's like he doesn't have a huge amount of anything other than Lings. And with certainly Medivacs out, and there are 4, the Lings will not trade efficiently with those Marines, I feel. It would have to be a good combination. There's not a lot of fungal growths available. Once again, these Infestors are just harassing here, doing little bits of damage here and there, but nowhere near enough.
Really slowing down Polt there, but the thing is, this... You know, if you guys were in the crowd and you watch Puma play against Stephano, fungal growths will change everything, man. Yes, it doesn't matter how many Marines are. If Polt cannot spread out, fungal growths will kill everything. And then combining that with the Ultralists doing their splash damage across everything, that's going to be the decisive blow that Stephano needs to take to win the game. But on the other hand, Polt knows this. He's not really going to clump up, and if he did, it would be a huge mistake. And Stephano swinging around the right. Is he trying to flank this army?
I don't know if he's going to trade efficiently. Look at that. Look at the way that the tanks are deployed. All of them up against walls here. A surround will be less than effective. If Stephano goes for this, I'm so worried for him because we've seen Polt come back from this. He's even got a supply advantage right now. He's come back from worse, and if Stephano does not engage well...
And Polt's going to kill the third base if Stephano's not going to be there to defend it, and it goes down again.
Good fungal. Fungals change everything. The Adrenalines rip their way through the Marine count, basically cutting it in half there. Stephano engages effectively and efficiently there. He has lost the base, but that's what he's up against.
He's playing Snake on a Nokia 3210 with tanks, but this is not so good for Stephano, and I say that because he's about to get flanked.
Yeah, does he have enough Lings? His Link count's really low. This would be disastrous. He needs to get out of there right now. Thankfully, the Ultralists don't give a damn about deployed siege tanks and just wander away casually.
They're a little bit stupid there. Like, Elephant's just like running around, but they took a bit of damage there, and they will take a little bit to regen. 5 Infestors coming from Stephano, knowing that's going to be the key. That is the key in winning here. It's not Lings, it's not Ultras, it's landing down chain fungal growths, and by the looks of it, Stephano's gone for the borrowed Infestors, and he's trying to launch into the siege tanks, but oh my god, a really interesting scan there, looking to just kill the creature, but I don't think he really saw the borrowed Infestors. I can't tell you.
It's possible, you can see it, it's very hard to see, but of course, if you're trained to do that, you can, and it was a nice catch because there was a lot of energy available on those Infestors, and if it comes down to that, well, Polt has a supply lead again. This man will never die.
These tanks are going to be so key in this fight, and it looks like Stephano's going around the left again, double expanding to the left, to the south again. Polt is going to clean up the south one, and he will, if he stims in, get a lot of drone kills also.
Yeah, he's got to leave with those immediately. Thankfully, he doesn't kill too many. He just wants to kill the hatch. There is this one establishing here, but this is kind of going left, right, and I am still very worried for Stephano, honestly. The supply count is getting really ugly for him. He's going to go and crush this planetary fortress, or try to with his Ultralists, and that's how much damage they do. Cleave his way through the only mining base of Polt, but army supply.
If Polt just defends his natural, he's going to kill Stephano's main and natural, so the question is, does Stephano trade inefficiently on the natural of Polt? But he has to come back. He can't lose his infrastructure. And this is it. This is it now. He's going to go for it. The Infestors have to land the fungal growths. Polt has to spread out. Will Stephano be able to break this? Because if he doesn't, he is our second place.
Yes, he is indeed. The Ultras get a good connection on a good line of siege tanks. Infested Terrans rain down, but the Marines are so effective at cleaning them up with that amount of upgrades. He's run right into that. The fungal growth is really good. The tank line takes damage, but Polt holds. Stephano only has 3 Infestors and an Ultralisk left. He is looking to go out of this game. He needs to start mining immediately.
Oh my god, I can't believe Polt held that position again, and he was in position, the stress word there for every single game. He's chasing down the infestors. They are
That's
running.
it! GG, ladies and gentlemen. TSL Polt is your Assembly Winter Champion.
And there's no doubt about it, Total Biscuit. Polt was the best player here, even qualifying second, and Blink's going to be